Great Mother speaks to us through us. And in these readings on a collective unconscious level, in the shadows she casts in each moon phase, chakra, variant god, and goddess energy, and seen from The Wizard of Oz and Dorothy's narrative, the poster child of Mama Drama Trauma, as illustrated in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck, based on the 49 scenes of her journey to live MDT free. What is MDT? Mama Drama Trauma is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases when the mother is unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal, it is my recommendation as a professional life coach to live in loving detachment. And this is what my work does. I support people in living in loving detachment. This is the most basic, most fundamental type of loving detachment, but it's useful in all phases of our life. For more information about that, you can click the information box below. And if you would like to learn more about this deck and how to work with it to develop your empathic and or intuitive abilities to live in loving detachment, check the information box below where you see how to read deck classes. Each new moon begins a new emotional healing cycle. Here we focus on MDT. Great Mother speaks to each sign about the supportive energies available to it as a collective consciousness and offers guidance for internal activation of this subtle yet powerful support. Look for your special Great Mother Speaks reading, especially for your sign's new moon, to hear how to further enhance the success of your new lunar year plans and wishes. These readings are entitled Sun in Your Moon Sign Readings. Where was the moon when you were born? This new moon, a partial solar eclipse, is on the cusp of Aquarius Pisces. The Western ego, emotion, earth-centric moon is conjunct Venus and the South Node, bringing to light Piscean tendencies to control emotions for the highest good of the group, social network, or friends, assuming one knows what that is. While the intuitive downloads from the Capricorn moon and the Sidereal cosmically correct soul astrology may be bringing up a need to finesse the current situation more to your benefit by shrewdly releasing those people-pleasing qualities unconsciously responsible for creating relationship and group dynamic problems in the first place. For instance, instead of modifying your behavior to prevent a perceived negative outcome, lighten up. Imagine yourself at peace no matter what happens instead. If this seems far-fetched, perhaps you are over-relying on the buy-in and approval of others at this time, and the energies are pointing to a need to redefine the terms of your health, wholeness, and happiness by taking full responsibility for your thoughts, decisions, and actions, dictating the terms of your experience of this birthright. This is what this partial solar eclipse is all about. This Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, new moon energy is dealing with whatever remaining internal MDT issues came up for release during the lunar eclipse, this past full moon reading. They are now externally shining their light in the Aquarius sun and spilling over into your life in ways you are now more equipped to address. Great Mother's lunar south node energies at the Aquarius cusp and in K2, the sidereal south node conjunct Capricorn, gives us poise, grace, and the ability to admit and articulate our most sincere wants and needs to ourselves and others in practical yet loving ways. Because a partial solar eclipse, Great Mother Moon, does not totally eclipse the sun's shadows will not be felt as intensely. Great Father expressed as physical action and material life, the law, the logos, the word, in the masculine sign of Aquarius will be powerfully felt with Mercury's solar conjunction in Aquarius in both the Western and Sidereal astrology, emphasizing the abundance of support available to us all for graciousness, beautiful, and loving communication exchanges. Great Mother is subtle, unseen. She is, in fact, the comforter, the Holy Spirit the Christ spoke of, that still small voice, our intuition, knowing what we know we know. Of course, emotions is how the ego communicates to its higher self, and intuition is how the soul communicates to the ego. Great Mother is the moon, especially this new moon version of the sun and the moon in the same sign, when she is embracing the earth in the blackness of her bosom. To reduce her to only mere emotion is to not recognize her sheer energy of uncontrollable freedom, darkness, and mystery she is within us. That still, unfamiliar, little understood, or even known birthright of happiness, wholeness, and health we intuitively cling to, and why we are here to hear from her through the signs and symbols of this birth moon reading. Okay, Pisces, Aries moon people. Wow, we have a card that's needs to be flipped over here. Welcome to your Great Mother Speaks February new moon reading. This is a reading that is really focusing for you on your 11th and 12th houses. And so that has to do with your relationship to the public, your public image, as opposed to your personal identity. I suppose they are related, but when we're talking about the new moon, we're talking about a new emotional phase. And so while our personal identity with regard to the first house is extremely useful, when we deal with 11th house issues, we're really talking about what we've learned about ourselves and how we can kind of optimize aspects of our personality, our inner knowing, and social groups. And so when we can do that consciously, we have a lot of humidity here, and so I'm having a challenge shuffling this. When we can do that consciously, you know, we can say, okay, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, a common question in jobs, then, you know, we can really contribute something, you know, to the public. And for you in this Aquarius Pisces moon, which is on the cusp, I know it's being called a Pisces moon, but it's really on the cusp. And so when we're talking about Great Mother energies, we're always looking at relationships and the strength of a particular energy. And so the strength of the energy is mostly Aquarius, because the sun is in Aquarius in both the sidereal and in the Western astrology. And so that's in your 12th house in the sidereal and the 11th in your Western. And so that's telling us that for this new moon, there are a lot of issues having to do with your relationship to the public, your relationship with yourself in terms of how you define your humanitarianism, your gifts, talents, and abilities, and their contribution to the whole. and really kind of wanting to do that in a way that allows you to have peace. Because 12th house is about rest after the journey through the wheels. And it's about reflection. That's why it's associated with isolation. It's really about reflection over a cycle of life. And that happens a lot of times when we're hospitalized and we're institutionalized. And so that's why that 12th house energy is in the sidereal. And for you, this has a lot to do with anger that's coming up, because maybe you're not happy about this particular time, about this particular period of release. Maybe you are actually feeling like the gifts, talents, and abilities that you have are not being appreciated. And in fact, in some ways, maybe some people may be trying to, or circumstances, it may feel like due to this lack of appreciation for who you are and what you offer to the world, it's being taken away from you. Your ideas, you know, your innovative contributions are not being recognized. And this is particularly hurtful because your contributions have been soul inspired. You know, you actually have followed your intuition, and you are actually, you know, you put it, you're all in. You've been all in about how you want to connect with people. And so this is a very emotional time, because Pisces is in your 12th house and Venus is in Pisces. So although you are receiving the support from Venus, this loving support, Venus is in the nakshatra of Shabisha in the sidereal, which is a kind of Venusian energy that is very firm. It's smart. In fact, Shabisha is called the nakshatra of 100 doctors. And so that healing element of Pisces is certainly there to assist you, and for you to assist others perhaps who are not appreciating you or who need further understanding. But this is still very upsetting to you, and Great Mother is acknowledging that. She's actually saying that this is perhaps such a frustrating thing for you right now that you are completely revising the way that you're looking at life, the way that you're looking at the world, and what you thought was real, what you thought was true, the relationship that you thought you had with the public, maybe even the things that you've learned from gurus. Maybe you're here because you're undergoing a transformation in terms of your spiritual direction. And you've been guided by Great Mother to get this insight at this particular time. And that's indicative of this 11th house energy. It's also indicative of a very masculine orientation, a very yang-oriented, an action-oriented rage. And so you're wanting to take action. Of course, we can deduce that from Aries Moon energy. But in this position of how you're approaching this new moon, that's particularly so. Rage is suppressed anger. And so maybe you are not even recognizing how you feel to be rageful. But this is the root chakra waxing gibbous card. And so the root chakra does have to do with our security. It has to do with our foundation, our safety, our feelings around these foundational issues for us to survive in the material world. And that's been shaken for you, even in the spiritual realm. But you have this Venusian support. You have Mercury, which is in your 10th and 11th houses. And 10th in the sidereal, of course, in the sidereal, the moon is in Capricorn. And that would be Mercury in the 10th house in the nakshatra of Dhanishta. And Dhanishta is kind of a Pied Piper type of energy. So on a soul level, with this mercurial communication coming through the soul, intuitively, you're really kind of downloading
a gregarious type of energy. And so that's why even if you are feeling upset, you're still trying to solicit the support of others, because Danishta is a kind of a Pied Piper type of energy. It is a very social oriented energy. It loves people. It's very vivacious. It is a social creature. And so this issue with the 11th house in the Western astrology, this emotional kind of upheaval, has to do as well with the fact that you actually have Saturn in your 10th house as well. And so that's why we know it has something to do with your gifts, your talents and ability, and maybe the wish fulfillment is not quite there yet, or there's disappointment in realizing that the wish will not be fulfilled as you envisioned it, because the transformational opportunity here for you, Pisces, Aries Moon people, is in the Osiris Horus card. The Osiris Horus card is another waxing gibbous moon. This is in the 5th chakra. This is death and rebirth. And so we know that in life there is birth, life, and death. And we are often in spiritual realms referring to these 3 life process as birth, death, and rebirth, because this cycle again from the 11th to the 12th house, going from the beginning of your wheelhouse, your first house of this Pisces Aries moon, to an actual rebirth occurring from the 12th to the 1st houses. And so although we don't have 1st house energy here, what we do have is this revising, this reevaluation, this reassessment of who you are based on you taking your power back. And so this rage, this suppressed anger, has to do with your power being taken away, you feeling this lack of appreciation, you feeling this lack of recognition. And that is a source of power, because our gifts, our talents, and our abilities really are the power that we receive from our life source, our soul, our spirit. And when we're not able to facilitate the manifestation of those gifts in the world, it's extremely frustrating. But Great Mother is saying that you are actually undergoing a rebirth process, Pisces, Aries Moon people. And the opportunity for you is to recognize that, as we see in this particular scene of The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy asked the castle guards for the witch's broom, which she was sent to the castle to receive by Oz, that she's taking her power back. And so Great Mother is saying, take your power back. Just because other people may not be appreciating what your gifts and your talents are, they don't understand. Aries Moon people, you are leaders. You are those that are able to emote things that we as a collective consciousness have not really been able to arrive at yet. And so being the beginning of the astrological signs on an emotional and intuitive level, this is a familiar feeling for you, and it may be very frustrating, because it is, you know, being the leader all the time, you know, people aren't quite caught up with you yet. But that is an opportunity that Great Mother is saying, that by recognizing that this throat chakra energy, this energy of speaking your truth, this energy of continuing to take that power back. And for those of you who are trying to explain to others despite the frustrations, because of the support at this particular time from Venus in Shabisha, that's exactly what is going to help heal this situation for you, because Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook the fact that in this new moon, and this is a new moon 2nd chakra card, Hattar is supporting you. So Hattar is very complementary with this Venusian energy that's conjunct Pisces right now. And so that Pisces in your sidereal, in your soul astrology, again, double checking the links below to make sure that your moon sign is not also Aries in the sidereal. You want to see what resonates with you, but for most people, your sidereal will be in Pisces. And so that conjunction is very supportive, and Hattar is coming through with this new moon, and in the second chakra, which has to do with our desires, what we really, really want in the world. She's saying don't overlook what you really desire. Just because of this, don't overlook what you really want to do and what you really want to share with the world, what your true spiritual resonance is. If you're a guru, or if you are some type of spiritual teacher or guru, you're having some frustrations right now, that's okay. The new moon is an opportunity for you to plant new seeds. You know, you can invoke new wishes, new desires, and that's what she's saying. Your new desires that you have for this new lunar cycle can be realized, because the second chakra is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter rules Pisces. And so Great Mother does not want you to overlook the tremendous amount of support that is available to you to accept where you are on your journey and to have pleasure despite what others may not be able to appreciate at this time. Being a leader, again, you know, sometimes it just takes other people a while. And if they don't come around, sometimes you just have to take your power. And that can be tiring for Aries Moon people sometimes. And Great Mother is acknowledging that, because the question that comes up with Hathor is, when we are in a situation that no longer serves us, the pleasure principle is guiding us to look at whether or not we are running away from a situation out of fear, or if we are running toward our bliss. Are you running toward your bliss, Pisces, Aries Moon people? Great Mother wants you to really pay attention to that. This second chakra energy, of which you are a harbinger of on the planet, on a soul level, that Pisces energy. She's saying that you are intuiting this from your soul right now, in the 11th house in the Sidereal, because the Adi Shakti card is the card of the twister dream. And that is the dream when Dorothy was downloading images to support her journey away from the farm. This is another second chakra card, and this card is in the waning gibbous moon, right after the full moon, which has to do with sharing and Thanksgiving. She's saying that right now that's exactly what you're doing with that 12th house energy in Pisces. Pisces has that spiritual awareness, that meditative ability to connect with Great Mother with ease. And so you have that on a soul level. And so in this new moon, on the cusp, Pisces, Aries Moon people, of Aquarius and Pisces, you can overcome feelings of defeatism, addiction, the tendency to procrastinate because of that kind of defeatist feeling, like, oh, it's not going to matter anyway. That Pisces spiritual awareness tendency can really up the ante on your tolerance of others, of your acceptance of what is. That's living in love and detachment, and your ability to surrender and trust the process of rebirth in your life at this time. Birth is a very precarious and delicate process, and anyone who has birthed anyone in the world, or fathered anyone into the world, you know that. If you haven't, you certainly have done that on your own behalf many times. And what supports us is the conscious awareness that Great Mother is with us, and you, on an intuitive level, that Pisces is that soul download level. You are getting downloads about how to adjust your approach to the collective. Saturn is supporting you in that 10th house energy and really kind of refining and revving up how you share your gifts and talents with the world. And it may not be how you have done it in the past. It may feel like your foundation, your security, your safety is being threatened because of these new things and these new ideas that you were just kind of getting little unctions about. Might feel scary, and you're kind of being nudged and encouraged. That's 12th house energy. 12th house energy is very strong, intuitive energy. That's why, again, it's associated with isolation and alienation. That's necessary to feel it. But don't allow those panic attacks that are associated with Pisces energy to overwhelm you, because remember, the supportive energy is in Shatbisha. Shatbisha is very focused. It's an orderly, firm, smart Pisces energy. It enjoys isolation, and it enjoys having its crew of people, its tightly knit group of people that really support it. You don't need everybody. You just need, some people to help you along with your healing, your 100 doctors work, whether it's healing yourself or healing others with these wonderful gifts and talents that you're wanting to share. Now, the shadow side of the situation for you, Great Mother is saying, is that there is resistance to leaving a bad situation. And so maybe that 10th house energy that's coming through with Saturn, and maybe the changes that you're intuiting that will threaten your security have to do with leaving a job. Maybe you had started a business that you really thought was going to be profitable, and you're realizing that it's not. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to give up. This means that it's time to really listen to what Great Mother is saying to you so that you can know what your next step needs to be. Pisces, Aries Moon people, because Saturn is in Sagittarius in the sidereal, it's in Capricorn in the Western, and so the emotional feeling of retribution, condemnation that often comes through with the great teacher of Saturn is being felt by you as this 10th house energy of, your wish is not going to be fulfilled, you got it wrong, and your gifts and talents aren't what you really think they should be, and that emotionally may be what you're feeling. But tap into that intuitive level, because I think that 10th house energy in Sagittarius is going to tell you a little something different. Don't forget, Aquarius is in the south node of the Western astrology right now, and we pay attention to nodes because they're lunar oriented. It's where the sun and the moon cross on the ecliptical. If you want to learn more about the eclipses, of course, we look at them very closely. This is a partial solar eclipse. Check out Lunar Totality, that video right before the full moon videos posted before. This Sagittarius energy for you is a 10th house energy for your soul. And so your soul is actually undergoing, that's why it's rebirth. This is no joke. You are actually going through a rebirthing process, Pisces, Aries Moon people. You are actually in an entire ego soul alignment process with your soul, in which your soul is wanting to leave a bad, this is root chakra, waning gibbous moon card, Pachamama. Your soul is actually wanting to leave a material situation, root chakra, and it doesn't care about all that safety and security stuff. You know how many skulls in the ground your soul has? Your soul ain't fazed by that. It wants to leave this bad situation because it came here to share the gifts, talents, and abilities that you have. That's what it's focused on. And we want to remember that Aries is a masculine energy. The root chakra is a masculine energy. Okay? And this energy is this active energy that is really wanting to move forward with this rebirth, but it's dealing with this public image issue. It's dealing with work issues. And what is that? That's dealing with other people. And so it's interesting that your rebirth has to deal with other people, which is why we want to look at the nakshatra that Sagittarius is in at this time of the new moon for you. And it is in Mool. Mool is ruled by Ketu, which is the south node in the Vedic astrology. Now, Sagittarius is in Ketu at this time in the Vedic astrology. So there's a lot of support for you. Capricorn, is ruled by Saturn, in the Western. And so there's a lot of support for you to release what is no longer serving you. And what Great Mother is saying with the Pachamama card is that if that's hard for you to intuit right now, if that's hard for you to feel in your body-mind space right now, what is important is for you to take some time with Great Mother's physical incarnation, Gaia energy. It's time to take about 5 minutes a day, whether it's during the day, and just standing outside with your coat on if it's cold, and breathe in the air. If you prefer nighttime, looking up at the sky, seeing yourself, looking at the mirror of the sky. It's very important to take time with the fairies, the sea, and the trees right now, because it's going to amplify that masculine energy that is available for you, that supportive energy that has the unction, that has the power, has the confidence to release those situations. And if it does include a working situation that no longer serves you, this nakshatra is indicative of wisdom. It is a nakshatra that gets to the root of issues. It's not afraid of challenges. In fact, it invites destruction because it knows that it has the resiliency to overcome it. It's the nakshatra of rags to riches and vice versa. It knows how to manipulate and to work with energy. It understands the unconventional nature of the unseen world. It is very much in alignment with Great Mother energy, and so you have that support to release what no longer serves you, because you're dancing with this energy. Underneath rage here we have Pisces, Aries, Moon people of Sedna, and that's the victim. And so Great Mother saying, in your shadow, that part of yourself that you may not want to even admit to yourself, that part of ourselves that is unspoken, you know, we'd rather it not even exist, and we'd rather not even look at it. You're dancing with this feeling that there's nothing you can do, that defeatism, when in fact you can choose what you want to do and not make it based on any condition of an outcome. Just live your life in the moment, because this is a second chakra crescent moon card, and it harkens back to this desire. All of these are second chakra cards. The new moon card, which means to pay particularly attention to the second chakra again, which is ruled by Jupiter, Pisces energy, and Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius is where Saturn is in the sidereal. So you have all of this energy to heal yourself, to release anything that's preventing you from experiencing pleasure right now for who and what you are. Great Mother is coming through in the twister dream that you're having right now. And the dance of victimhood is what we do when we are upset. That righteous indignation, right? We're really upset about something. But the crescent moon tells us that you are in fact planting new seed. You are in fact being reborn. And this is the phase that comes immediately after the new moon. So she's saying that during this phase, immediately after the new moon, just allow yourself to plant the thought that things are going to work out on your behalf as you make the intention to make wishes, plant seeds, plan for what it is your soul really wants at this time. Sometimes we feel like we are pursuing what we really want, but we're hitting these brick walls. And yours happens to be 11th and 12th house energy. So Great Mother is saying what needs to be released, Pisces, Aries, Moon people, is a feeling of injustice, is a feeling of you are never going to get what you want. Because there is justice. This is the third eye first quarter moon card. This is in fact the card when the three and Dorothy return to Oz's castle and realize that he's just a man. And Dorothy says, you are a very bad man. And Oz says, I'm not a bad man. I'm just a very bad wizard. And so release whatever judgments other people have about you and know who you are, Pisces, Aries, Moon people. Make the decision. This is the decision, actions, facing challenges, moon. Know who you are. That 100 doctors, that leader, that respected leader that doesn't suffer fools, that's Shadbisha. Venus is in Pisces. Shadbisa doesn't suffer fools. Shadbisa is very focused on what she needs to meditate on. She's very focused on what needs to be accepted and worked through, what disappointments need to be released, what feelings of deception she's harboring that is holding her back, in order to create a more loving self-image, which is hearkening back to the beginning, the basis of how we determine what we do give to the world. Because Great Mother is saying that in order for you to facilitate this understanding that there is ultimate justice, that things will work it on your behalf, as long as you release those things, those thoughts, those feelings, those behaviors, those relationships, the focus in work and energy that is not serving what you know and what you were intuiting, what you were downloading to be your highest good. Because you're being reborn, you're coming to the end of your astrological wheel. And so you know these things. And so you're just seeking confirmation right now, but Great Mother is giving you that through the Twister Dream, this Primordial Mother card, encouraging you to pursue what you now know is your pleasure. And to facilitate that, just do it. That's the Dagda card. The yin yang symbol cards are the law cards. Great Father is the law, the logos, the world, the word, the material manifestation of Great Mother's spiritual inspiration. The Dagda is the father of the Celtic pantheon, and this double yin card is all about downloads. It's all about that double feminine energy of reception. So not only receiving the support of others and perhaps being disappointed by that, but actually receiving behind what may appear to be a very disrespectful, a very unappreciative situation. Looking beyond that to actually see what your true security and foundation is. What is your true root chakra security, Pisces, Aries Moon people? What have you learned through the journey, through your astrological wheel, the emotional journey? You're coming up on your Lunar New Year, with the Aries new moon, coming up. And so we want to really pay attention to what it is that you have downloaded so that you can act on that. This is the card of the law of Divine Mother. So we have this tremendous amount of yang, masculine energy that courses through you emotionally, balanced by all of this feminine energy of downloads and the pleasure principle, the new moon, and paying attention and the intuition and all of that, and trusting that justice is coming and all of that. And this card really has to do with acting on that. Acting on what you know. Go for it. Do it. We can see the earth here as the materialized form of Great Mother energy. In many cultures, it's masculine. And we see the earphones here listening to what Gaia, Earth Mother, has to say to you. So this reading, I would say, for you has a lot to do with just trusting what your journey has been through your wheelhouses and allowing that to marinate and then acting on that. Because this is a third quarter moon card, so you have some time as this lunar cycle commences and it matures to the full moon and after to the third quarter moon, which is about release, letting go, forgiveness, so that you can act on what you know. Otherwise, what Great Mother is saying, this fear that seems to pervade or to kind of block you and paralyze you at this time may persist. And so this is a root chakra, first quarter moon card. And this is the scene in The Wizard of Oz, actually, when Dorothy sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And so the fear card in the Great Mother Speaks deck really has to do with, again, that connecting with her. Somewhere over the rainbow, where skies are blue, birds fly, why can't I? I remember a lullaby. I remember a lullaby that told me that birds can fly, and why can't you? You're a divine child of the Great Mother, Father, God. Yes, there is this physical experience that courses through that very masculine Aries gut chakra body. Okay, Mars rules the gut chakra, and so yes, you are very tuned into your physical body, your physical needs, and that is what makes you such a great leader. You know, you intuit the things that are necessary in order for materialized life to be formed. But at this particular time, Great Mother's coming through for you, Pisces, Aries, Moon people, and she's saying focus on that soul energy and really get clear. The moon is in Capricorn in your sidereal, and Capricorn is ruled by the root chakra. And this root chakra with fear, this root chakra with rage, okay? We have this root chakra with leaving something that no longer serves you or a bad situation. And so this Capricorn soul energy, which is ruled by the root chakra, which in turn is ruled by Saturn. Again, this Saturn energy, Saturn gets a bad rap because the great teacher is simply reminding us, yes, you are in physical form, which is why you only have so much time. Get to it. Get to it. Get to why you came here. Why did you incarnate? Get to it. And that's Saturn's job. And you have a lot of Saturnal energy in places that are making you look at how you present yourself to the public based on who you know yourself to be, your gifts, your talents, and abilities, and reflecting on that in a way that you can be reborn and not focused on fear. Fear is not a bad thing. Fear lets us know what's not working for us. These cards are in opposing positions because maybe that's the information that's telling you exactly what that work situation is, or whatever situation. You may be an artist and you're trying to share your gifts and talents as an artist, and a venue that you've chosen or people that you thought were going to support you have not come through for you, and that's okay. Great Mother is saying that the rage that you're feeling about that and the fear that you have about that is based on an idea of security and safety that you've had for a long time, for the entire journey through your wheelhouses. And it's time to allow yourself to open up to the new information that's been coming through. You've been receiving new ideas. You've been receiving new inspirations of how to do your thing. Yeah, it's different from what you thought and what everyone else is expecting from you. But you're getting those downloads, even though it's a twister for you, Pisces, Aries, Moon people. Even though it's a challenge for you, you are getting the information. You are getting the support that you need at this time. And Great Mother is so very proud of you, and doesn't want you to forget how important it is for you to enjoy yourself, enjoy your journey. You might as well just lighten up a little bit and allow the strong qualities of Pisces, the meditation, the spiritual awareness. Now you're aware. You have information. You're equipped to overcome issues that prevent you from accepting things as they are, which is the divinity that you possess as a divine child of the Great Mother, Father God. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking as you see fit. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you. There's so much support for you to release what needs to be released, to go forward in joy, Pisces, Aries, Moon people. Remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.